Hello, and welcome back to the Bible Study Girl podcast. This is Sarita, better known to you guys as Bible Study Girl, and you're in for a real treat. Sharing the mic with me today, as usual, is my boy, executive producer, Bible Study Brother.
Hello.
Yeah, I need for you to find your own hello. And walk in it.
What's up?
Okay, thanks.
What's good, people? It's your boy, Bible Study Brother.
Yeah,
also known as a Christian.
Great. Yeah, I was gonna say you. Yeah.
Well, that's my hello.
Yeah, that is your
over
hello.
on Gray Area Anime.
Yeah,
go check it out.
That is your hello. So today we just had a moment of prayer before the record button was pushed, because today we do generally start off with prayer before we record any podcast, just in general, because even though we are foolish, we recognize that this is an awesome platform to talk to other people and to share some real life situations with people. So we definitely had prayer before we started, because today we're going to talk about a very difficult subject. It's a subject that I haven't even written about yet.
Same.
I am writing about it in my book,
which you should all go and purchase, because at some point, like listening to these, like you might be starting this from the beginning and think, is there any other way that I can engage with Bible Study Girl? Is there somewhere where I can learn more about her? And it'll be through her book.
It'll be through the book. So I do more than touch. I dig deeper into this subject in my book writing. But today we are going to talk about daddies and our relationship with our father, the father that we share together, who's actually my stepfather. And I'm also going to talk about my relationship with my biological father. So
this is the daddy issue.
This is the daddy issue of the Bible Study Girl.
Daddy issues.
On the Bible Study Girl podcast. But I thought it was important for us to discuss it because it has come up in every single podcast that we've recorded. It's something we glaze over
and kind of avoid, because the instant emotion a lot of the time is one of anger.
For you?
For me personally,
okay.
Yeah, or hurt. I guess is probably more accurate. Maybe, I don't know.
And I think it's a different response. For me, I'm more detached, but I'm working on being more in touch with my feelings. I'm trying to feel my feelings. I have a tendency to just like push them to the side because I don't have time for feelings. I gotta make it.
This is true, and I mean, normally you know I'm detached in that sense of, or I'm ready to detach in a lot of different ways. But if I detach, like I'm literally detached. So I have that same cutoff spirit that you do, but I know it about myself, so I try not to cut things, because if I cut it, it ain't coming back.
I think what's so interesting, though, is that although I do have a cutoff spirit, I think for me, that's just like protection. Even though I have that for myself, for other people, I don't want them to be cut off. So my push for you is always reconciliation. Yep. Get it back together. You guys can work through it.
Because I think you recognize that if I'm like, nah, I'm not doing it anymore. Oh, he means it. Like, he's really like, this person does not exist. Don't speak about this person around him, because he will get like,
Yes, I think the people, if they listen to previous podcasts, they can get that from your remarks, because you are always in the background.
Oh my God. No, we have a different name for
we do.
Yeah.
Okay. So I brought you back, Lord. Thank you. See, that's why prayer is important. He'll stop some stuff. Is. So I'm trying to figure out what the best place to start. I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about my journey with my birth father, and lead into your dad and like our relationship and chime in.
You said birth father, because initially, like, go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead. So I don't really have much of a relationship with my birth father. He was absent for most of my childhood. I knew who he was. I I wanted relationship with him. It wasn't really a priority in his life. He wanted, these are his words, he wanted a family. He wanted me and mama. And when she didn't want him, it was like, you take your kid too. So that has been a struggle for me growing up. So I go from that situation to mom marries your father. You come along. I would say, honestly, for the first 5 years, we had more of a bonded family unit. When you were younger, it was much better, and then it just went left. So you can share your experiences or what your relationship is with your father.
Well, my experience in that general thing, at least for the construct of our family, was you just were dark skinned to be dark skinned. Just, it happened. I had no inkling that we didn't share the same parents or any of that, because that's not something that was talked about or promoted in some way. Or even if it was still something that probably went over my head.
Yeah.
Like, your different last name made no sense to me, but I was just like, whatever. It's because she was down in Marble all the time. I don't know. Like, maybe that's something you do.
Yeah.
I didn't have any, I was oblivious to that. And
so when did you figure out that we had different fathers?
I feel like it would have been maybe high school or junior high.
Really?
We didn't have many talks about it.
No, we didn't
talk
about it.
Because again, this further proves the dad issue. And you didn't typically start doing the yo daddy stuff until divorce. I feel like.
Well, I did it before divorce, probably high school, because I saw some things and I knew some things that I didn't approve of, and so
maybe around that time, but it's somewhere between then and there. I don't.
But that's probably is still my teenage years. You're kind of it
melts together, but at different. By the time I get to your age, wherever you were, is most of the time when things started becoming more real and apparent to me. But like I said before, my thought process on him or on our situation was, from everything that I see, from everything that I am taught, from everything that is publicized, it's mom, dad, son, daughter. They work. It's dad head, mom help. Mom cooks, mom cleans, mom does whatever. Kids are kids.
Yeah.
So it was very basic understanding. So a lot of things weren't apparent to me because I'm like, no, that's not how these things work. That's not how these things are supposed to be. I never even so when we would go on vacations and he wouldn't be there, that would be more, well, he's off working.
But he wasn't, though.
I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? That's not what my thought process. My thought process was,
he's not here because he can't be here. That's what you thought.
And so it wasn't until high school, in terms of the divorce and stuff, that it was
So even before so when we get to high school, because here's the thing. Every summer, my mom made sure we went on vacation. We always went on a week-long vacation. And she would take the vacation. I'm going to call him our father for the sake of just clarity. Ease. Yeah, and ease. Our father worked during the summer, so he would be gone for 6 weeks. She always scheduled vacation the week before he went back to his regular job, so he would be able to go on vacation, but he never.
And his regular job is he's a teacher.
Yes.
And I'm only going to say that because I have other testimonies that I'm going to have to throw to the people before.
Okay, so we would go on vacation every summer, someplace different. Bible study brother and I typically spent the summers in St. Louis when my grandma lived in St. Louis. She was our free child care, so we went to St. Louis.
Free child care and free vacation.
Free vacation. We went to St. Louis every summer.
Got all the peanut butter crackers and swimming we could take.
But even beyond going to St. Louis, we always went somewhere. One year we drove to Vegas. We did the Grand Canyon. Like, we did vacations spectacularly every summer. So it wasn't until you were in high school that you realized that, well,
it was like late because we took a trip to Panama City. That last trip we took to Panama City, he was not there.
No, he was. He's gone with us one time.
He went with us the time before that, because the last time the best man at my wedding went.
He was there for that one. That's
He
the one.
was?
Yes, that's the one that he went on.
Really?
We rented the van. Yes.
Are you positive? Because I don't feel like he was there.
I don't think he was. You're right.
He was not there. We had one right before then. That was the one where it was like he went, and that's when it was like, oh man, this is cool. And I was younger because I was definitely not, because that was a whole different thing.
You're right. You're right. But he did go on vacation with us once. Out of their whole marriage, he went once.
Like, and that wasn't even something, like I said, that hit me until college and later. And like, our relationship is very surface to me.
Okay.
It didn't feel like it was surface at the time. Like, we have things that, like any father and son, that we bonded over. We bond over movies and stuff like that. Spiritually, not so much. Like, most of the things I got spiritually, I got from my mom. Period.
Like, nothing really spiritual from him?
No.
Okay.
Not.
So how did you feel when he accepted his call to the ministry? Since you feel like you got nothing spiritual for him, what was that like for you?
I think I've talked about this in terms of the tree, or in my personal episode. Like, at that point, because of everything we were doing in the church, like, I initially thought that because of the way it seemed like the church loved our mother and him in a lot of different ways, because for a lot of people, he is very charismatic in a public sense.
Oh, he likes the people in the public.
Yeah. And what it was at that time was, I was like, eventually, like I said, we'll end up doing all this stuff in the church. Like, I can see my sister over all the youth things in the church.
Could you?
Because you were.
Can I tell you something? Yeah. I really do enjoy these conversations, because your thought process and my thought process are like, I was not thinking the same thing.
Well, because, so many people came to you and looked to you for conversations and would have listened to you. Like, my youth class, people that are in my age range, would have listened to you and came to you and talked to you about all kinds of things and would follow your instructions. So I thought then that it was more so like, this is kind of cool a little bit, but then, like I said, I would watch and be like, there's something missing to me, and I don't know what it is. I had no idea, but I was just like, I don't see where the difference is between this and the other things that you do. Like, there shouldn't be this huge difference, like, because I've seen you be funny, I've seen you be relaxed, charismatic, I've seen you do things that seem like you kind of have a point, but like, this just seems kind of scattered. Like, it's not together in the way that I think it should be. So no, I normally didn't get much. I didn't get anything. Not gonna, like, from any of those sermons, like, and that's not a shot or anything of that nature. It's just, I spiritually did not.
Do you think it's just because, like you just talked about the differences? Do you think it's because of the differences you saw between the pulpit and real life, like at the house? Or did you even see a difference?
Well, no, there was a difference, because, like I said, there's a comfortableness in everything else I see.
Okay.
In public.
Yeah.
Versus this, where it seems like it's kind of a strain. It seems like there's, like, you were trying to find a topic or something to say, but something of, like, you were fighting with yourself in a way of, like, trying to figure out what does this say to you.
And maybe there was a strain. I will say, with my reflection here lately, my self-reflection, and just looking at my life, and even my relationship with Mom, I've had to be more empathetic and realize, at my age, she had an 18-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old son and a husband.
Well, and a 13-year-old son who
had health
Who
issues.
had real health issues. Oh, good God.
So that's and I've had to take that same approach when I think about our father. You know, when he married Mama, I was here. I was 4 years old. They are a young couple, and he's going from a girlfriend to having a wife and a child. Like, and not just any child
on the way.
And a child on the well. I mean, yes.
Because it wasn't that long ago that they were.
They didn't get long to just be a married couple. You were born like 9 months after they got married. So they didn't have long to just be a couple and have fun. They went straight to family. And so
one of them didn't get to have fun. But
would you stop it?
I'm just saying that, to be honest.
Oh, okay, you are being honest. But what I'm saying is mindset.
Yeah.
His mindset at 20, maybe 2.
Yeah.
I have to take that into consideration when I think about the dynamics in our family. He was young, and even though he signed up for it, a lot of people sign up for marriage and don't really realize what it is.
Yeah.
Until they are in it. Because do you feel like you knew what marriage? Did you think you knew what marriage was before you got married?
The thing I knew was that I didn't know, and that no matter what I thought hard was, that there will be harder times, and that you just have to be spiritually sound. And like, I knew the thing I needed to know, which was it ain't gonna be easy. You got to work at it.
Yeah. But can you imagine marriage as it is for you now with how long you been married?
3 years almost.
With a 7-year-old. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I can't imagine it because it wouldn't have happened.
Okay, I don't want you to get off track and get into it.
No, but it's just I knew what I could do and I knew what I couldn't do.
You knew that was something you could not handle, and I don't think he realized.
Only because of the things I witnessed
in
with
your
us.
own household. Yeah.
And so but that's also my thing. That's, the biggest thing that we talk about a lot with me, you, and Mom is we haven't had the best male examples around us at all times.
That is true.
There are great people. So those of you who are the great role models that are around us, don't take offense to this, but the continual people that are in our lives have not always been great.
And see, that's the thing I think I have had the most issue with. Like you said, there are great people. I thought about it today before we start doing the podcast. Like, I have awesome uncles. I have uncles that ride for me. They will do anything for me. But I don't see them every day. They weren't in the house with me every day. The example that I had in the house with me every day, like you said, was not what I would want for my children.
Right.
So I struggle with that. Like I have struggled with that for a long time in my life. And I don't know if it would be, well, you're a boy. So I think it's important for dudes to have their dads, but I also think it's important for girls to have their dads too. And I didn't have that. And I often wonder if some of my life decisions would have been different if I had a stronger male presence in my house.
I mean, we would have both been different because here's what we both had to do. Spiritually, we had to fill in that leadership gap for both of us. You tried to do it for me.
I did.
Yes. Like, and I tried to do it for my wife at that point in time, or was trying to like fit into a place, or I never wanted to step into it. That is another issue that was difficult for me to step into things, is because I never saw good leadership. So I didn't see that. So I didn't know what it was. And then like, I felt that all leadership is inherently bad. Because if this is what it does to you, I don't want that. I just want to worry about me and what I can control.
Gotcha.
What can I do that, like it was also a thing to where, because I didn't have a certain level of responsibility in terms of my thoughts. It wasn't until after the divorce that I even began to remember or notice family members' birthdays, because it wasn't something that was taught that way, because we just showed them, signed a card. It was not like, we did more things for other people, but it was family stuff that we did together. So like we would go and do cards for people, and that was fun. We would go into the Target or the Walmart, and there were these card maker things, these far cry of the past. And so you could pick your name, and you pick like The Simpsons or something like that, and it would.
So this is something you would do with our father.
We did this.
Okay.
Me, you, and Mom would go and like okay, so and so needs this birthday card, and we would go and make these birthday cards.
Right. When Target was over where Arvest is. Okay.
Yeah, we'd go and make these birthday cards, and it was like this big, huge, fun thing for us because we would always generally end up picking something Simpsons related.
Because that was y'all's thing.
Yeah. What was our thing? I mean, this was also or at least from my perception, it was our thing because that was.
It was a family thing. We would watch The Simpsons when you were younger. Yeah. We would have family date night on Fridays. We would go to Mazio's, get some pizza, and go to Blockbuster, get a movie, and we would all watch a movie together. But that stuff dissipated.
It dissipated, and it's like it wasn't even something that I readily recognized. I mean, I just thought, okay, you got busy and you were grown now, versus there were other factors in play and stuff going on. But
so let's talk about. We talked about struggle. We talked about this. This hurt me. This is what was hard for me. Do you feel like you have resolution with it right now in your life? Is something you still struggle with? Because I will say for me, I have, prayer, fasting, and therapy. I have come to a point where I'm okay. It's still something that bothers me, but I'm not angry, Sarita. I have come to accept this is what it is. I can't change this. I can pray about it. I can pray for him. I can pray for my biological father. I can't change them. The only person I can change is myself. And so I pray for them, but then I know that I have to change me and I don't even want to say my expectations, because God can do exceedingly abundantly above all I could ask or think. We could end up having the greatest relationship ever, but I do need to go in knowing that I can't change them. So that's where I'm at. Like, I can't change who they are. God can.
Yeah. Well, where I am spiritually. So for so many years, like I said, I was naive. I was naive spiritually. I was naive in terms of the things that were going on around me. It was not until the divorce and seeing all the things that I had to see that I had never seen before, that I could not believe, that I could not fathom. I started off in a state of disbelief. So I started in a place of like, well, okay, again, this is mother, father, son, daughter. We'll be okay. And, we were having Sunday dinners and stuff for a while. And I told you for a while, I didn't even notice certain things that were going on at those dinners after church. And so, like, for me...
Side note, I was not at the dinners because I did not live in Little Rock. So then when I came to visit, I was like, listen, count me out on the Sunday dinner. But go ahead.
So... And this was post-divorce. So it's like these two divorced people that are eating dinner. And it's like, okay, I still got my family.
Your fake family.
But I'm naive in a sense. So to fast forward to where I am now, I'm angry in a sense because I got to the point where I'm getting all the information and I'm seeing things differently. Me and my father had a conversation one time, and I was very upset because, we just want to spend time with him. That's our big thing. Just want to spend time. I'm not asking for a lot. I'm not asking for anything. I just want some time.
Just time.
Just want to go get dinner, have a sandwich, have a meal. Talk about your day. Don't even have to talk about any of the stuff in the past. Just want to engage. Mm-hmm. And so we got into this argument because, you had just moved in your house, you had a housewarming, and you were sending, we will occasionally text and send invites and do things that say, hey, let's try and do this. And no response. So I've been getting to a point where I'm angry only because then it's like you can do me like that if that's what you want to do.
But why can
But you're not gonna do the person that is actually trying. Well, because that's always been my thing. Is like the choice was made during the divorce that you really don't want time with me. Mm-hmm. And again, naive kids, like it's kind of like the naive thing of like, well, you can choose me or blah blah blah, and obviously they're gonna choose what it is that they want to choose for them.
Yeah.
That's the divorce isn't about whether or not the kids can handle it. It's I want to do this.
Yeah.
I feel I need to do this. And so for me, spiritually, I'm just in a place of healing from that, allowing that to be okay and get to a point where I'm just trying to be the best man that I personally can be. Mm-hmm. I'm trying not to get into the competition of I want to be better than my father. And just because you hurt yourself more when you're trying to break a cycle that wasn't yours to break in the first place, in the sense that you're not breaking his cycle of things that he does. You're just being the best you. That's
it. That is what I said to you when I was introducing you for your sermon. Mm-hmm. Just be the best you. Yeah. Now, of course, it doesn't come easily. Mm-hmm. It's not something you come to like instantly. You don't instantly go into faith mode and say, you know what? I have extended this invitation. And the crazy thing, you talk about my housewarming, I extended the invitation to my birth father. Mm-hmm. Come to my home. Like you said, I'm not worried about what happened in the past. I want to build a relationship with you that is today, based on today, that is present. And the issues that I have with both of them are things that happen right now. When I try to build a bridge with you, when I try to make connection with you and you reject me, what do you want me to do? And so, I forgot where I was going with that, but knowing you tried, mm-hmm. you tried to build a relationship. Mm-hmm. They have the choice to engage with us or not engage. And I will say, I was over, being ignored. But I get upset and I get hurt when you're hurt. That makes me want to.
No. It's vice versa. We understand. It's more of a like, listen, again, you can ignore me or you can do whatever you want with me, but you will not do it to this person who has done a lot for me, who does exceedingly well at doing these things. The biggest thing that I'm dealing with spiritually, because the reason we keep saying spiritually, because you have to attach this.
If I don't attach it to my spiritual life, you're gonna get real
different conversation.
You can get real, Sarita, and I mean, you'll get
an unfiltered
version
that
of
is
me.
not,
because I am who I am now is who I am, but I filter my life through Jesus.
Yeah,
I have to, because if I don't filter my life through Jesus, you're gonna get uncut. You don't want the uncut.
So the biggest thing that's hard for me spiritually is getting to a place where I'll be okay when he's gone. Because a lot of times I have difficulty in dealing with the fact that there will be so many kids that he's taught over the years that will have this real connection with him
that you don't have.
That I don't have.
Yeah.
That, oh man, that was my favorite teacher. He really blah, blah, blah. Like, oh man, he used to joke. He was so funny. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it. Like he made school, man, that school, he made it worth it. To get to a place where I can like take the blessing of at least you bless somebody.
Yeah.
You planted a seed.
That's
in
growth.
All these different places.
That is some serious growth.
I'm not there.
Oh, but you're trying to get there. Okay.
Because at the end of the day, we do not pick our parents.
We don't.
God picks them, and he picks them for a reason. Mm-hmm. We can all still make our own choices. And it's hard on the journey that I'm on now to kind of reconcile a lot of those things. And that's why having this conversation and trying to, there's other people who deal with this. The Black community is, at least by actuality, and not so much because what's publicized, so on and so forth, isn't the case. because there are black families
There
with
are
good
black
fathers.
families. Yeah, there
There are
are.
good fathers out there. We will champion for those. But being in the situation where you don't have those examples, where you don't know where you have to go, and it makes me lean harder to God's understanding. Because while I am not perfect, I am far from it. Growing the relationship that I've had and trying to, grow to become a great husband, become a great brother. Because all the examples in terms of things we've seen from our fathers, whether it's relationship with siblings or whatever the case may be, we don't do that. We don't act that way and try to act more kind to one another. Like our biggest fight is still something that we overcame.
Yeah, I thought about that earlier. I asked you if you remember the goal for our relationship when we went to therapy, and it was to just be able to be in the room with each other and be cordial, and God exceeded that goal.
Well, my thing was,
I know you wanted
I wanted, game nights and being just to be us and to be us in a way that does not seem to seek this validation thing.
Yeah, what I'm saying is my goal was just,
can
we be in the room together? But God has exceeded that. He's exceeded even your goal for us to be able to have game night. We're doing a podcast together. And if you had said to me 4 years ago that we would be here, again, I would tell you the devil is a lie. So my hope is that God exceeds our expectations on our relationships with our fathers, that it is way more than we could have ever imagined. Yeah. And even if that is not the outcome, that we have peace in knowing that whatever happens, his hand is on it.
Yeah, because you're going to have a lot of things in your life. And this is why this podcast is pivotal. As we go over a little bit, it's quite all right, people. I know you sometimes want more from an episode anyway. And I definitely don't want to part two this one. So
I know this is it.
This is all you'll get from us on this one, only because it's just, I'm going to say this is all you'll get from us currently until God says differently, because he said, do this one. So, you're going to have a lot of obstacles in your life. Can be, especially in family. Like I said, the black community is rampant in a lot of different ways of, even though we're close knit, we're not so close that we talk.
We don't.
About real issues.
About our issues. It's keep it moving.
We try to make blood thicker than water instead of love thicker than everything. Because love will change actions. Love will isolate if you need to from all the plethora of things that plague the families. And we're doing this so that there are people who, like, I am a reverend. I am that. And I have these things that I deal with too. My sister, as much as she runs from it, is also a reverend, apostle, priestess.
Let me tell you something. We are, do you know the tagline at the end? We preach, because we all preachers. Keep talking to keep talking.
But it's just, we did this, like I said, I mean, it's not to bash anybody. It's just to say that these situations that you two go through, so do I.
Yeah.
And I'm choosing a different outcome. I'm being honest. Like, I'm not going to tell you I'm somewhere that I'm not. I still have to work on even getting to the point to where expectations are okay. Like, to where they can be exceeded.
Listen, my pastor preached a mighty word today. That's why I put that expectation on it. Like, I'm putting the expectation. I expect God to move in a mighty way. I have that expectation.
Yeah. So I think, is there anything else we want to touch on with this?
No, I think it's
in general.
I think we're wide open enough. We can put some you feeling all right? We can put some cream or something on our open wounds.
Yeah, I'm okay, because like I said, by the time you'll get this episode, I will be licensed as a reverend. So again, all of these different things that are prophetic in this podcast. As I listened to the first episode that we did with about my faith walk.
Wasn't it? It was so like the Lord was there, honey.
I
Go
just
ahead.
what to do, and I didn't even know at all. Like I knew that as well, random just to connect to the episode because it's whatever. I knew then that anytime he called, I would go up there and speak. Did I know it would become this? No, but I'm pushing forward to continue to be a living example.
And that's what we all need to do. We're going to fall. We're going to scrape our knees, but we can get back up and we can do better. We can be better.
Yeah.
Y'all, we can live victorious lives. Okay. That's all I got for you. Okay. You over on my time.
So, be sure to follow _Bible Study Girl on Instagram. Email BibleStudyGirl2019@gmail.com. Any testimonies or things that you have, and also follow her on Twitter at BibleStudyGirl2. The number 2, 2.
Bible Study Girl 2.
Bible Study Girl 2. Yeah. And always remember, it is not I preach. It is not you preach. It's not they preach. It's we preach.
And until we meet again, guys, keep preaching. Yeah.